Welcome to the first show of the 2017 season for Irish Football Weekly. I'm one of the co-hosts, Josh Benjamin, here on The Grueling Truth. Got my co-host, Tony Hunter, a former tight end for the Irish from 79 to 82, first-round draft pick from the Buffalo Bills in 1983. Tony, how you doing today?
Oh, Josh, I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward to getting back to some college football this weekend.
Man, it feels like forever since we've talked, or at least had the show, at least when it comes to college football. So I'm very eager to get back into the flow of things and getting ready to see and talk about Notre Dame football.
Definitely. You know what? It was a tough year for us. It was a tough year for us at Notre Dame last year. It was embarrassing at times. And to be honest with you, I think this is a year that we redeem ourselves. Notre Dame redeems itself. Notre Dame gets back to playing Notre Dame football. And I kind of got some encouragement this past week when my old high school, Moore, who last year, as you know, Moore has a fantastic football tradition. Well, Josh, as you know, last year we had our first losing season, which was tough, a long high school football season in addition to the season we had at Notre Dame. I'm really looking forward to getting back and redeeming ourselves at both Moore and Notre Dame. What I was saying, Moore beat Hamilton this past week, and we're back to playing Moore football. We're looking good. We look strong. Hopefully Notre Dame will follow suit and start back to playing Notre Dame football this weekend against Temple.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Just kind of touching on last season, kind of like you said, it was disappointing at times. Had a lot of young talent that maybe, I don't know, in my opinion, didn't get utilized correctly at times. But you move on, you live through those experiences, you figure out things, and Coach Kelly, just going off this year now, he's added 6 new staff members to the 2017 coaching staff, and all three of the 6 are the coordinators, offense, defense, and special teams, with Chip Long doing the offense this year.
Right. I was going to say that about Chip Long. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. I hear it's going to be an up-tempo, fast offense, and they have the talent to do it. I think just about all the receivers are coming back from last year. And so he'll have the talent to run this up-tempo offense with Brandon Winbush at quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see if we utilize the talents that we have. And I agree with you somewhat. I wonder if we were actually utilizing the players that we had, the skilled players that we had from last year at times. Kevin Stephenson, some of those guys, I didn't think they were utilized as often as they should have been. And maybe this year they will. And we'll get a chance to see the kind of talent that Notre Dame has now and has always had at its disposal.
Yes, and going along with Chip Long there, at one point when he was down in Memphis, he had them in the top 20 in passing offense, scoring, completion percentage, and passing efficiency. So he brings a strong resume for this offense that is, and we'll talk about this more here shortly, but about a quarterback that's brand new to this whole Notre Dame system. So we'll see how that offense does under Chip Long, going along with the other coordinator, Mike Elko, who's a defensive coordinator now. A brand new guy, of course, to Notre Dame up there, and hopefully, kind of like what we alluded to earlier about last year, just some things that we thought, and they were young on defense, but some things that I thought were missed opportunities that we talked about last year, but hopefully get that defense back to the way it was a few years ago.
Yeah. I know we struggled all year last year defensively. We went through coordinators. We went through 2 coordinators. We just never seemed to gain our footing, and now we're starting out fresh, and I think the talent's there. Normally at Notre Dame, the talent's always there on both sides of the football. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. It's a fresh start, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to got to turn out. And Temple, by the way, will be a good test. You know, they won their conference from last year. What was that, the AAC? They won that last year. They lost their head coach to Baylor. They lost their head coach to a powerhouse in Baylor, and they lost some of their weapons. So it'll be a good opportunity for Notre Dame to come out and look strong, get some confidence, because we have some tough games coming up behind this Temple game, the Georgia game. So we need to get off to a good start against these guys.
Absolutely, and Mike Elko brings a couple nice notes to have on his resume. He was only one of 2 defensive coordinators in the nation to rank in the top 40 of total defense in the last 5 years. So that's a pretty awesome stat to have and going into the season.
Wow.
And then last year when Wake Forest, he was just one of 4 schools in the top 20 to be in the top 20 in turnovers, forced, sacks, and scoring defense. And the other 3 were Alabama, Clemson, and Washington, who all
wow.
made the football playoffs. So that is a very interesting aspect there. So hopefully his resume speaks for itself, and hopefully all those things come along with him with this Notre Dame defense.
It would be nice. It would be nice. I tell you, when I was at Notre Dame, we had some tough defenses, man. We ended up playing in the Sugar Bowl. We played Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and I can remember we had a defense, Bob Crable, who eventually became a first-round pick of the New York Jets. We had Dave Dorson, who was all-pro player for the Chicago Bears, and Stacy Turin, a great player. We had a lot of talent on the defenses that I was a part of on that team back when I was at Notre Dame. Hopefully that'll get started again. We used to have great defenses at Notre Dame. Last year was not so great. Hopefully we'll get back to that, and hopefully Elko will be able to spearhead that force.
Absolutely. The other 4 coaches, I'm going to just kind of ramble on here for just a second about them.
Sure.
Brian Polian, who's the special teams coordinator and recruiting coordinator for the Irish. This is his second stint back with Notre Dame. He was here in 2005 to 2009, and then he went away and then went actually to be the head coach at Nevada, who Notre Dame played last year. He was the coach from 2013 to last year. So player face back to the program as a special teams coordinator.
Is that right? I remember the Nevada game. I remember we played against Nevada. Okay, they were respectable. So he's the special teams coach at Notre Dame now.
Yeah, he's back in the second stint, so brings back some good experience. Obviously, another head coach on the staff that could help Brian Kelly with some decisions and certain things like that. So
sure,
some good experience coming from Brian, that's for sure.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I think the talent should be at Notre Dame. It always has. And now that looks like we've got a good, experienced coaching staff, I just have a good feeling about us this year. I have a good feeling. I think we're going to redeem ourselves. This year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you on that. The other 3 coaches, they're all position coaches. Del Alexander, who's the wide receivers coach this year, has some good experience with coming from Arizona State, and he actually played at Wisconsin. And then Clark Lee, who's the linebackers coach this year, he coached an All-American at UCLA, Akeem Ayers, which we all know about. And then a very familiar face who's coaching quarterbacks this year, Tommy Reese, who played quarterback at Notre Dame from 2010 to the 13 season, and he was 23-8 as a starter. So some pretty quality coaches from just looking at resumes and from my knowledge of them previously. So it seems like Coach Kelly had to clean some house to maybe keep his job. I don't know. I'm not speculating. I'm just going by what my opinion is. But it looks like he had to clean some house on some positions.
On both sides of the football. He cleaned house on both sides of the football as far as coaching is concerned. You mentioned Reese at quarterback. I think that'll really help Brandon Wimbush at quarterback. Having a guy that went to Notre Dame, played for Notre Dame, and he understands kind of the special circumstances that are the challenges that playing quarterback for Notre Dame will present to Brandon Wimbush. I think that'll be a good match, and I think that'll help him get through, a tough season. So that was some good thinking on somebody's part, whoever matched those two guys up.
Yeah, I agree, and that aspect, like you said before, about him being at Notre Dame, playing, starting, all the different differences that you would get at a different D1 school compared to Notre Dame and the tradition and what that entails, and that's a
right.
important key to have that.
That's important. That's important. Somebody that's been through it at Notre Dame, that's important.
So talk about the team a little bit this year, Tony. So one of the youngest teams in school history was last season, and now because last season they just entered in with just 7 starters. This year is a little bit different. So this season they'll come back with 19 who have made at least 7 starts, which is outstanding according to last year. So double their starts, double the players, and I mean, let's talk about some players here when it comes to the offense. C.J. Sanders and St. Brown, both receivers.
Very talented, game-breaker receivers. I really like St. Brown. I like C.J. Sanders, too. Like I mentioned, Kevin Stephenson. I think he was suspended or something. That's unfortunate. But I think he's a game-breaker as well. But we'll have to wait and see. And we'll have to wait and see if they're ready to play football again this year.
Yeah, and so going with the offense, Brandon Wimbush, who is a junior making his first career start against Temple at the quarterback position, like we talked about before, it's going to be kind of a learning curve probably for him, being behind guys that are gone now, Deshaun Kaiser, who got drafted by the Browns, and Malik Zaire, who's not there anymore, who transferred. And so it's a fresh new start. He played twice as a true freshman in 2015. But, not very much experience from him. So what do we expect from Brandon at this point?
Well, I think he has a pretty good line that he's going to be behind. So that's a good start. He's going to have a good line. First couple games he's going to have to kind of feel his way. I'm not sure if he's going to be a predominantly passing quarterback or, to be honest, I haven't seen a whole lot of him. But it'll be interesting. I'm sure he's a great athlete, and he's had a chance to go through spring football. He's had a chance to go through summer camp. So I'm pretty sure he's ready. He's ready to go as far as his assignments are concerned. And now it's just a matter of playing football. So, the season's about to start. It's a matter of just kind of letting it go and playing football right now. With all those young players coming back, and as well as I do, Notre Dame recruits some top-of-the-line athletes. That's well-known all throughout the NFL. When I play in the NFL, those guys respect the guys that come out of Notre Dame because they know that the guys that wind up at Notre Dame and doing well are guys that did well in high school, were recruited by just about everybody. And to go and to play well at Notre Dame on the main stage like that, it takes a special guy, and so they're normally ready to play in the limelight of the NFL. But so I know there's a lot of talent. And now it sounds like we have the coaching staff to match, and let's just go play some Notre Dame football this year. And like I said, I saw more come from having the worst season in that school's history to beating Hamilton and looking like a totally different team this year. So I'm hoping Notre Dame follows suit and does the same thing against Temple.
Great thing about our quarterback experience, because there's not very much of it, is that there's not tape on him, so they can't watch him a whole bunch. So that's
right.
Positive to look at that. But like you said, with the new staff, the offensive coordinator, it'll be interesting to see what Chip Long does as far as the passing game when it comes to Brandon Wimbush and how much he's going to throw at least the first couple of games and figure out, like you said, just try to figure out who I'm throwing to, what I'm looking at. It's going to be a learning curve for him, and hopefully that offensive line, like you mentioned, led by Mike McGlinchey, is going to stabilize that through the running game with Josh Adams and those guys in the backfield.
Right. Right. Josh Adams, Dexter Williams. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine, and I think we'll be pleasantly surprised this year at how good Notre Dame looks. Things just got off on the wrong foot last year, Josh. I think we had all those players suspended right, I think, what was it, a week before the season opener last year? Maybe during the week of the season opener, we had a few guys suspended from the team. All of that negative publicity, and it just seemed to snowball over the course of a season, and guys weren't relaxing, just playing football. This year, we have a fresh start. They can relax, play football, play Notre Dame football.
Yeah, and kind of jumping sides here to the defense, there's some different position groups that are young, experienced, some that are all experienced, some that have some starts. So it'll be nice to see how this rotation goes with the defensive line. And with Mike Elston down there, defensive line coach, we'll see how that goes, because there is some guys that are pretty fresh, pretty young. Then you got some guys that have been there for a while, and hopefully those guys that are older, that more experienced guys, kind of lead the way and show those young guys how it's done on the defensive line, because I thought that's where we lacked the most to help out the other positions, because the secondary was very young last year. The D-line had an opportunity to step up and help them with the pass rush and things like that, and they didn't, unfortunately. And maybe that was a coaching thing and a player thing, but hopefully that all those things change this year.
Yeah. I thought I didn't think our defensive line ever really got on track last year, putting the pressure on the quarterback. It'll be, we have a lot of guys that I don't know much about right now, so I'm going to kind of wait and see what happens in this first game and see how these guys come out to play and kind of make my judgment based on that. So can we get some new faces, some young guys, and I want to kind of sit back and see what they do against Temple and start formulating an opinion at that point.
Yeah, it's going to be something seeing our three linebackers who are, one of them is a captain and now is Morgan, and those guys come back with that experience. That's great to have that middle level experience at the linebacker position, and then the secondary has some experience. Like I said, last year they were very young, but they got experience, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. They got
I thought that secondary got better as the year went on. I thought that secondary got a lot better as the year went on last year.
Oh, I agree, and going through those little woes that might have helped a little bit, but hopefully they got through that rocky year last year and were able to have a strong off season and coming into this game very well prepared, of course. So man, we had a tough season defensively last year. I mean, we had a really tough season defensively. Let's see if we bounce back and start playing some Notre Dame defense again this year. Yeah, I think consistency is something that us fans are looking for. Not only us, but the players and coaches, but consistency of being consistent. So we'll see how that goes, of course. But going to this first game here, game one against the Temple Owls, at home on Saturday, Notre Dame Stadium at 3:30 p.m. on NBC. It's going to be fun. I'm the tailgating, all those things outside are going to be outstanding, of course. We've been to a few of those, and Tony, I know you've been obviously to several. And the atmosphere outside, and then of course being in that stadium and the stadium getting renovated a little bit, it's going to be nice. It's going to be an awesome home opener for sure.
Oh yeah, there's been quite a bit of renovation being done. That has been done on that stadium. Man, oh man, I just received a text from a guy that was at the renovated stadium. I think it was last Saturday, and they were watching the Rudy movie, and it was at the stadium, and he was texting me and he was explaining what was going on, and it just took me back to my time at Notre Dame. And man, I said, man, I would trade places with you in a heartbeat right now to be there, to see that, just to be in that stadium and to watch that movie and just to be a part of that atmosphere. I tell you, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Well, yeah, that's going to be real exciting. And, going up against the Temple Owls, who actually have only played Notre Dame twice in its history. Notre Dame's 2-0 against them. Their first meeting was in 2013 where Notre Dame put a beat down on them 28-6 up at Notre Dame Stadium. And then the last meeting was in 2015 where both teams were ranked, Notre Dame at number 9 and Temple at 21, and Notre Dame pulled it off 24-20. So 2-0 against the Temple Owls in history. And then, basically going off last year, we got to push to start off strong so that we can get this ball rolling and making sure that we take care of the Temple Owls in game 1 of the home opener this year.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, it's a great opportunity to get off to a fantastic start for Notre Dame because, as I said, Temple they won their conference last year, but they lost their head coach and they've lost some key players. So they're going to be trying to gather their footing going into this season. And it's a good time for Notre Dame to catch them before they get rolling and get off to a big win because, like I said, I think we have Georgia next week, and we've got 3 or 4 straight away games, and then USC comes in after that. So we're going to have our hands full. We need to get off to a good start and get this win against Temple.
Absolutely. And kind of the schedule that you alluded to, I'm just going to run through the schedule real quick for all of our listeners out there. So we got Temple game 1 this Saturday at Notre Dame, and then the following game is Georgia. Going to be a tough game, and we'll see how it goes. And that's at home as well. And then they play Boston College and Michigan State, Miami of Ohio, and then they go to play North Carolina, who's not going to be easy, along with the rival, the Trojans from USC. And then they finish out with the five games that I think are not going to be gimmies by any means. NC State, who last year they played in that hurricane.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, I remember.
That was treacherous. And then Wake Forest, and then they play the U. And then they finish off with Navy and Stanford. So not an easy schedule by any means for this new group of coaches and kind of the new attitude of the staff. And we'll see how the season goes. But it starts with game 1. Going back to Temple, it starts with game 1. I think the offense needs to start fast and get that rhythm going for the young quarterback. And defensively, if we get a couple stops here and there, get a turnover here and there, get that momentum going for the offense, I think this week's going to be pretty successful.
All right, definitely. It's an exciting year. It's gonna. I'm looking forward to seeing if we're going to start utilizing some of all that talent that's at our skill positions that was used at times last year, but a lot of times they kind of stood around and looked like with their hands in their pockets. They weren't being utilized. Maybe this year we'll start to utilize those guys, and if we do, I think at one point last year with Deshaun Kaiser, we were considered one of the top or one of the most high-powered offenses in all of football at one point. Now, we weren't as consistent as we should have been, but I think if we utilize the talent that we have, and based on what I've heard from the things that I've heard about our new offensive coordinator, I think it's going to be an up-tempo type offense. We'll be able to utilize the talent that we have, and sounds like Brandon Wimbush is a dynamic talent. It'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see how it's going to pan out.
Yeah, that's a key word for me too. Excited, anxious, all the above. I'm sure for all the listeners as well. Just eager to see how this is going to pan out and how this is going to start. So we'll say good luck to the Irish and kind of move on here. But I don't know if you remember last year. We finished up in our 3 toughest picks of the week. We finished exactly the same record, so we ended in a tie. We did have a tiebreaker, and because I don't want to have that, I want to make sure I don't lose. So we go back to 3 toughest picks this year of the week, and they're not easy. None of them are a home game for any of them. They're all traveling. Both teams are traveling to different states, and so we're going to start off with the first game, number 11, Michigan versus number 17 Florida. They're playing in Texas, so it really doesn't matter at this point.
They're playing in Texas, Michigan, and
yeah. So it seems like the NCAA is kind of moving, maybe for a business standpoint for viewers. I don't know, or maybe even the fans going to the game. You got me. I don't know. I don't make the big bucks, but so number 11 versus number 17 Florida. I'll go ahead and start this one. Jim McElwain, the coach at Florida, has gotten them better and better. I just don't see Jim Harbaugh losing, and that's the problem. I don't see him losing.
Yeah, see, there we go. Yeah. We're always on the same page when it comes to Jim Harbaugh because I don't see him losing either. I like Jim Harbaugh. I think, man, he turned that Michigan program around in one season. They were amongst the best in all of college football in just one season, and I think they'll be just even better this year. So I'm going to take Michigan.
Okay, so we're both on Michigan there. The next game, it's a tough one. It's two of the top 3 teams in the nation. It's number 3 Florida State playing against number 1 Alabama in Atlanta, Georgia. So no really home field advantage there as they play in Atlanta, Georgia. So number 3 Florida State versus number 1 Alabama. Tony, you got to choose this time first. You're up.
I'm going to take Alabama. Alabama, they're closer to home right there in Atlanta. I think they'll have a lot of support in Atlanta. So I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide.
Okay, so Tony takes Alabama, and, I for the sake of being a college football fan, I hope Florida State wins, and that's who I'm taking. It'll shuffle up some things maybe. It'll be difficult for that last college playoff, the Final Four. So
right, it'll definitely shuffle things up.
And the last one, which is not necessarily a high-profile game, but it's a ranked, both ranked opponents. Number 22 West Virginia versus number 21 Virginia Tech, but they're playing in Maryland. So 2 Virginia teams, just probably different styles as well. And I'll go first on this one if you don't mind, Tony.
Go ahead.
I don't really know a whole bunch of people in this game, but I do know one person who plays for West Virginia, David Long, who's a linebacker. He went to Winton Woods High School in Cincinnati, Ohio, coached by my brother-in-law, and he's doing outstanding things there. And I'm going to take West Virginia on that one.
Okay. And all right, I didn't realize that the kid went to Winton Woods, but I kind of like West Virginia in that one too for some reason. That is really strange how the college teams are starting to play from their home stadiums now like this. I don't understand that. I'm not sure what they're trying to do with that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't even know if I want to know. So
they're trying to get maybe more exposure to college football in places. I don't know. Anyway, I'll go with West Virginia. West Virginia on that.
All right. So 2 of the 3, we have the same. I guess that deciding factor would be the Alabama-Florida State game. One of us is going to end up being on top right off the bat. So good luck to you, Tony. And when I mean that, I mean don't win because I want to win.
All right. I'm looking forward to it this year. I'm ready to really knock you out the box this year, Josh. So get ready for me.
I'll be ready. So
all right.
Moving on to the next segment here. We usually do an upset of the week pick. This week, since we don't really know a whole bunch about teams yet, I think we're going to hold off and start that on the next show. So we'll come back to that. But probably the best part, which is kind of my favorite, is the Irish prediction for this week and the score and all that good stuff. So, Tony, I'm going to let you start off since you're an alum there. So go ahead and give us your Irish prediction.
I am going to say that Notre Dame is going to really have a good game offensively. We're going to put up 30 points, and I'm going to say 30-17. Notre Dame wins.
30-17 Notre Dame. Okay. 30-17. I'm sorry. I'm keeping track of this so I don't, get a. So I keep myself honest, Tony. It's not nothing about you. It's me keeping myself honest. So,
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Notre Dame winning as well. It's a home game. The staff has something to prove. The quarterback has something to prove, and so does that defense. And I'm going to say Notre Dame too. I think we're going to start out pretty strong, and maybe it's just me being the fan I am and being biased, but I think Notre Dame's going to roll in pretty good. I'm going to say it's going to be like 42-14.
42-14. Okay, I hope so. I know we need to get off to a good start because we have some tough games that are coming up, and we need this one. We need this one to be impressive and to get our confidence going for a tough schedule.
Absolutely. So we kind of come to the conclusion here of our show. I always ended last year with a short segment about some fun facts for the finish here, and some two really neat ones. Brian Kelly's is only the second coach in school history to win 12 games in a season, and the first one was Lou Holtz in 1988. So, which is kind of astounding to me because of the tradition. But 12 games is a little bit different because of the schedule and how that changed. Probably when Lou Holtz took over, so not too many coaches were able to do that. So Brian Kelly is the second one, and then the other, it's kind of odd. I didn't even realize this happened in 2015. So Notre Dame alumnus Richard Corbett, he gave this basically the university a $35 million gift.
Wow.
He had a $10 million donation which endowed the school's head football coaching position, which meant the following. So when they refer to the head coach, Brian Kelly, they have to say the Richard Corbett head football coach, Brian Kelly. So essentially you hit the title of the head football coach at Notre Dame at this point is the Richard Corbett head coach, which is kind of odd,
what?
But he paid for that title. He gave the $35 million, $10 for that coaching position, and $25 million for construction on some other buildings and departments. So good for him. I didn't even realize that was even a thing until I started researching a little bit. So, and that's the third time that's happened in Notre Dame history. If you want to throw another fun fact out there, the women's basketball coach and the men's lacrosse coach also have that same position as far as the head coach being named by an alumnus due to their endowment. So,
wow. Oh, I heard it. Xavier. Did Xavier just have something like that where there was a big donor that wanted Chris Mack to stay on as head coach, and I guess she made a big donation, and she chose him as the head coach. Is that what you mean? Or
I think so. I just find it so awkward, and that's a great way to promote the alumnus and things like that. But to pay an extensive amount of money to be named the position of which someone else is being held, the Josh Benjamin head football coach, that just sounds weird to me. So
right.
So that's
I tell you, I thought it was strange when I first heard that about Chris Mack at Xavier, the head basketball coach. There was someone that made a large donation, and she made it with the understanding that she wanted Chris Mack to continue on as head coach of the Xavier Musketeers. Now he's done well. He went on. He had a great year. He's had, I think, 2 or 3 good years behind that. 2 years behind that. After she did that, so.
Yeah, that's. I must not be in the new, I guess, because I have never heard of this until when I started researching the head football coach position. But anyway, Tony, it's that time. It's time to wrap it up here for our first show, the 2017.
All right.
For Irish Football Weekly. All the listeners out there, you can check us out on our website, thegruelingtruth.net. We actually have an app now, The Grueling Truth, on Apple, on iTunes. If you go to the App Store, look for The Grueling Truth, you can download that app and listen to any show you like. There's tons of shows out there under our umbrella of our website. Tony has one. He's doing a Ram show, I believe, this year again.
Yeah.
I have my own show as well called The Real Deal. So, and multiple other shows, and not just the app, but we also are on Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Music, iTunes, obviously I just mentioned, and iHeartRadio. So lots of areas of places to find our shows. Don't forget to check us out at any of those. Tony, it's been real. It's the first show of the year. I'm excited. You know, I'm going to sign off here. You have any last words?
No, it was fun. I had a blast, Josh. I always do. So I just want to say that I'm looking forward to it, and let's go Irish.
Awesome. So for Tony Hunter, I'm Josh Benjamin, signing off Irish Football Weekly. Go Irish. Peace.
Yes.